Hey everybody, this is Keith Baker from Dusty Attic Studio, and in this video we are going to continue mixing a song from Angels in Amplifiers. It's called I'm Alright. In the previous video we mixed this song start to finish just using stock plug-in presets, and what we're going to do here is dial in these presets and get this song cleaned up. So I guess this really is going to be video 2. So let's jump right into this. Let me open up Studio One here. I'll let you take a listen to this so you know where we're at. And here we go.
I know the seasons right to change, it's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged, you're tearing me down. Where is the...
Okay, so actually this song sounds pretty darn good considering it's just mixed with presets only, but there still is plenty of room for improvement. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this right now. I'm going to start just like we did before. I'm going to go into the kick drum. I'm going to click on this arrow, open it up. You can see we have our compressor and our EQ. We're going to be doing some compression changes here. I'm not going to go real deep into how a compressor works. Fact of the matter is, it would be a video all on its own. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible because the first one, if you haven't seen it already, it's a marathon. It's it's pretty long at an hour and almost 40 minutes. So you know, I don't want to put you all through that again. So anyway, you know, in a nutshell, you got a compression, you got your ratio, your threshold, your knee, and of course you have your makeup gain over here, your attack and your release. I can show you a little diagram here that kind of shows you what we're going to do. I mean, this is super basic. There's a lot to it, and the fact of the matter is it's not something you can learn overnight. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of dedication to train your ears so you can hear what's going on. Like I said, if I explain that all in this video, we're going to be pushing another 2-hour video. Basically, you've seen the waveforms. It's kind of like this. You know, you see your waveforms. Let's just say this is a vocal. You can see the green line here represents the peaks of the waveforms. This red line here, really, it's the threshold. So basically, when the transients here go above what you have the threshold set at, it's going to push it back down. It's really going to be determined on what the ratio is, and of course there is an attack time and a release time. So what we're trying to do is get it so it kind of looks like this. The transients, as you see, are pushed down. You don't want to get rid of it altogether. You certainly don't want to squash it, or you're going to take away all the dynamics of that particular track or that waveform. So this is what we're trying to do. Now, you will not see that, why we're doing that. Let me close this so you can see this a little better. Let me zoom in. It's not gonna, when we compress it down, you're not gonna see a change on these waveforms. So just so you know. Anyway, so this is the compression on the kick drum. It's got a 4. This was the preset that we started with. It's got a 4-to-1 ratio. The fact of the matter is the stems on this song are really great captures. It was certainly designed for beginners to help out, just so you can start getting there and messing around with it and starting to, you know, familiarize yourself with things. So, and the fact of the matter is that they possibly could already have a little bit of treatment on there to kind of, give you a hand. But anyway, because these are so good, I am not going to compress much on these. I'm just going to do a little bit. 4-to-1 is probably the most I'll go on anything in this song. I know this kick drum sounds really good, so I'm actually going to back off of this. I'm probably going to take it around 2-to-1, but we'll listen to it. So let's go ahead and play this. I got to get this out of the way real quick, because as the video before, this track here is for my vocals, so I have to solo it when I solo a track, or I'm going to disappear and you won't be able to hear me. So let's listen to this kick real quick. It doesn't sound too bad. Again, the compressor here was a stock preset, and it's kind of going on the assumption that this is a lousy capture, but since this is so good, if you look over here at the attack, this is what I call audio constipation. I mean, they really got the attack coming in fairly late, and it's hanging on for a long time. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to bring this down. No, let's bring it down to about 30-ish. And release, again, I don't want it to hold too long because this has already been done, or at least really close. Let's put it around there. Now let me go ahead and start this and take a listen. What it did, by reducing that attack, it's giving me more of that snap sound. That's a little bit better. And again, I'm really compressing this a little too hard, so I'm going to back off of the threshold. Okay, that sounds a whole lot better than it did. I'm going to leave the knee alone for now. Okay, let me close this. I'm going to back up here. Let's just start here. And now we're going to go into the EQ. Now, if you remember in the last video, I was talking about how this actually isn't too bad. It sounds good, but it's got a little bit too much. It's got a little bit too much low frequencies going on here. Before I get started here, I'm going to take and move this back down, take a listen. I like around the 50 HC mark, but we're going to play with this a little bit. Actually, that already sounds a little better. A whole lot cleaner on the low end. I'm going to do a low cut here. I'm going to probably pull this down to about 24. And you can hear the difference when I pull this back out. You hear some of the low frequencies coming back in. Listen real careful. I mean, it doesn't sound horrible, but it's got some frequencies in there that could interfere with the bass. I mean, the bass guitar. So let me pull this back. I want to leave some of the lows in there, but I just want to get rid of those annoying frequencies. It's sounding pretty good, actually. I'm going to leave this down here. I do like to pull out some of the high mids, so I'm going to leave that. This up here, it just shoots right off the chart, trying to get as much of the high end out of as a kick drum as you can. So let me stop this a second, so I'll rewind that back a little bit, and let me show you what it's doing right here around the 5K range. That's what's really giving you nice snap. I'll crank it up so you can hear it. Okay, that's a little too much, but so I'm going to bring it down. Maybe pull it over. I'm kind of liking that right there. So I'm just kind of tweaking these presets and getting it to sound a little cleaner. So that sounds pretty good right there. I'm going to leave it there for now, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on over to the snare drum. Let me just bring it in. Let me solo the kick. It's a little thin. Let me see what that compressor is. See, it's just barely touching that. I'm okay with that. And we got the 2-to-1 ratio. I'm okay with the knee. That's a good attack. Maybe I might want to shorten that just a hair. And the release probably more around 140-ish. That's good. You can see the reduction happening here. It's only really reduction. It's only got a dB and a half of reduction. So I'm going to actually pull this down just a hair. Okay, I'm going to leave it at 3. Okay, I can hear that compression. It's pretty good. I don't really need to do a whole lot of gain. You got gain reduction. You can boost the gain back up. These basically because these tracks are were recorded a little hot, so we're going to leave it there. I might run into a place where I'll have to use some, increase some gain, but for now I think we're good there. Let me stop this and go back, just take it back to the beginning there. And let me take another listen to that. Yeah, that's a little bright. Let's take this, and this is right around the 5K mark as well. So let me pull that down. Let me pull it all the way down so you can hear it. I do like a snappy snare, but that's a little hot. I'm going to leave that 3K there, and this is about 240, 250, and I'm going to leave that. I'm kind of digging that. I don't have any real high frequencies over here. I typically do. You just click on that right there, and it drops down. Then here you're going to go into. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this hard. But I'm going to bring it way up the charts here. So really all I'm doing is cutting out, everything like 12 or over. It starts to drop it off. It's not hurting your ears. If it was too high, if there was too many high frequencies in there, you'd hear it. Right now it doesn't sound that bad. So I'm kind of cool with that. So I'm going to do something a little different here that I didn't do in the last video. I'm going to put a little reverb on this. So I'm going to come over here. I didn't set my loop, so I'm just stopping it, hitting it again. It's taking it back to where I started. So let me start that again. I'm going to go over to, let's see, what reverb do I want to use? Let's go ahead and stick with the, Presonus reverb, and it's called Mix Verb. I'm going to drag this over to my send. And again, it's going to automatically create an FX bus. And you can hear that already, the difference it made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that kick drum back in so I can kind of hear where I want to put this reverb. So let's take a listen here. It really is kind of too much here. size up a little bit. I'm going to bring the damp down. And I'm going to come unlock this. And then I'm only going to use a percentage of the reverb in there. That sounds pretty good. Might even put a little pre on it. It's almost like a delay. I'll crank it up high so you can hear it. You don't want that much, that's for sure. But let's bring it back to 0, and I'll probably bring it up to maybe, yeah, around 30. Just a little bit of pre in there. That's sounding good. Maybe a little too much reverb still. That'll work right there. All right, let's keep on going down the line. I'm going to do everything I can not to make this another marathon video. All right, let's get these overheads going here. And I'm going to solo that. And let's see what the compressor's doing on here. It's got a sharp compressor. It's just so clean that I'm not getting any reduction unless I, crank it way down. And I just don't want to smash any of this, because it really sounds good. So I'm going to let it maybe just 2 dBs, maybe actually even less, maybe only a reduction of, there you go, about 175. That's cool. And I'm okay with the attack and release. So let me rewind this back and hit play. Now, let's take a look at this. If you remember in the right video, I said I don't think I was too happy with this. But again, these stems are so good and they're so well treated, you can almost not mess them up. But I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit this back to default. And I'm going to do this my own. First thing I'm going to do, you see all this, because these lows over here is getting picked up from the kick drum. So I am going to take that and I'm going to cut this way down. Let's go 36. That's pretty drastic. Let me go back up to 24. I'm going to pull some of this out. I'm just making my hi-hat sound too thin. It's so good, I'm just going to leave it where it is. All right, so I'm going to try and work on my higher frequencies here. I'm going to try and get that hi-hat to sound the way I want here. Bring this in just a hair. And the hi-hat sounds good. Again, I'm going to do a really hard cut here. I'm not going to pull it all out, just a little there. And actually, let me pull that over to the 5K and then maybe boost just a little bit here. Around the 2K range. Okay, let's see what that sounds like with the rest of the kit. I like it. See, we were able to pull out some of those high frequencies without, we were able to pull the frequencies out of these tracks without really degrading the sounds. All we're doing is controlling the unwanted nasty frequencies, either whether it's high or low. So let's roll this back and let's listen to this again. It sounds good. Let's look for our toms. Again, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And let me bump this up so I can see a little bit better. As I showed you in the other video, look for a place. We know this right here are some tom hits. I'm gonna use my little little loop tool like we did before. It might be too much and drive you crazy. Listen to it over and over. Let me unsolo all these and solo just the toms and listen to that. Not too bad. I was talking about this expander before. It works kind of like a gate. Let me open this up a little bit so you can see what it does. Take ratio it a little bit. All right, watch what happens. It's not doing nothing. And bring it in. You can make it's almost like a gate, but you can adjust it so you can get a little bit of the bleed, which I like to use bleed in the mics. Still a little bit too much. That's better. Okay, let's take a look at this compressors. I'm only getting about 1.5 dB of reduction. I don't really need a 3-to-1, but I'm going ahead and leave it there. That's a good tack, good release. Okay, maybe drop this out just a hair. Okay, if you listen real careful, you can hear that drum ringing. The first one, let's see if we can't find that. Again, all these frequency over here, you just don't need it. Let's pull that out. I'm going to click this off. Find that sweet spot. Take some of that ring out. That's right about there. I'm even going to tighten this in a little bit. I might have a little bit. That's not too bad. That is one funky looking EQ there. Let's see what it sounds like in the rest of the drums here. Okay, that's enough of that. Let me rewind it back a little bit and listen to it. Okay, so bring it down a couple of dBs. Still a little loud. I'll just leave it there until we get the rest of this, the rest of these tracks mixed in. Let's take a listen with the percussion. All right. I still haven't. I'm still not going to put anything on these percussions. I mean, it's just so clean. At that point, it'd really be over engineering. That's really the last thing you want to do. Over engineering, it can really be as bad It's not engineering anything at all, not putting any treatments on at all. I'm a true believer in, less is more. But really, for this video, I'm going through and tweaking it a little bit. It really is more EQ changes than anything. The fact of the matter is, I'm probably going to come back to these drums several times during the course of mixing this to get them to sit right. But really, less is more. So let me get that level set with those percussions. Sounds really good. All right, now I told you in the last video that I was going to do some buses. I'm probably only going to do one bus on here, which is on the drums, and I am going to use a third-party plug. I'm going to explain to you why I do this. Remember, to highlight these tracks that you want, you click on the first one, you go to the last one in the chain that you want, and you press Shift on the keyboard, and it highlights them all. And just like when we put the VCA fader in, I am going to right-click. I noticed my VCA fader that was here is missing. I'll have to find that. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to add Bus for Selected Channels. Now, all these drums are routing through this to go down here to your main fader. Today it's going to be a mastering fader because I'm actually going to do some treatment on the end of that. Near the end of this video, we're going to do some bus treatment. Now on my drums, here's also another cool trick. Now that I got a bus on it, I can select them all and deselect them all with just one click. I'm going to turn these percussions off, and I am going to throw on a preset that I made, kind of my own concoction that I like to put on drums. It's an enhancement. It's made by the Nomad Factory plugins, and I'm going to pull in here some Magma. It's going to bring in an empty rack. There's a rack where you can put, all kinds of stuff, compressors, EQs. You can put in FX. But in this case, I am going to put in my drum enhancer. Let's see, it's under my drums, and right here, drum kit enhancer. Loading that all up. And it's got a limiter on it. It's got this vacuum compressor. And I already got all this all set the way that I like for drums. I might have to come back and tweak it. And this is a little build some bottom end. It's kind of like sub, and you can put some clarity in there, but I'm not going to go all into that too much, because if you're using Artist, you won't be able to use third-party plugs, Studio One Artist, unless you use the it's called Rewire, VST Rewire support. You add that to your Artist, Studio One Artist, and then it allows you to use third-party plugs. It's a lot cheaper than going to Pro. I think it's like $80, but it's certainly worth it if you can't afford the $250 or $350, whatever it is, to upgrade from Artist to Pro. It really is it's a great option because it's only $80. But for now, let's see what this sounds like. Let me close that because it takes up the whole screen, and you can see it here now. So what it's doing is it's just treating the tracks that I selected. You can actually go what's up here, and it shows you which ones are sent to this particular bus. All right, let's take a listen. Man, that's mean. So don't get too excited. I mean, a lot of times there's going to be plugins that's going to increase your volume, and that's kind of tricky. Sometimes when you hear louder sounds better. That's not the case. It's the effects and treatments that actually go into it is what makes it sound good. But let me go ahead and play this, because it really is treating the overall kit. What it's doing is kind of, not only is it giving it some more punch and a little bit more clarity in the brights, but it's also adding a little glue. So let's take a listen to that. Okay, I was making sure it wasn't going to make my cymbals too bright. Huh, that sounds awesome. All right, let's bring my percussion back in. Well, somewhere around here, I had a VCA fader for my drums, and for some reason it's gone. I don't know where it is. I do have this VCA fader here, but this is attached to every track, and I'm going to show you why I have that there. You can see it bringing down everything. Let me close my browser here, and so you can see more. This is pulling up and down all of the tracks, all relevant to each other, but I will get to the reason why I have that there later. So let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and select my first track again, go down to the end of my drums, which is of course where I have this bus as well. I'm going to select all those, right click, and then I'm going to add a VCA. So what I'm going to actually bring it on this side of the bus, because that's really the last thing. Again, this is how I do it. This is my workflow. You're going to find your own workflow, so it's no big deal. Some people are going to be like, why do you have your VCA fader in the middle there? Why don't you have it to the right, or why don't you have it to the left? Don't worry about it. This is just my personal preference. All right, so I'm going to bring those drums down, because they're a little hot with everything that I've added to them now. And you can see I'm bringing them all down relevant to each other with the VCA fader. Right there is pretty good. I'm trying to keep it around minus 6 dB treated. All right, those drums are sounding fat. All right, let's move on down. Let's work on this bass guitar here. I'm going to want to solo that all by itself, so let me click that. I'm going to unsolo all these. Again, if I wasn't using this track here for my vocals, it would be a whole lot easier than the way I'm flipping around and checking stuff and unchecking stuff. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, bass guitar. It looks like it's real hot here, but the fact of the matter is I have this little thing so you can zoom in and see. Let's see what that sounds like with the preset. I mean, really, that is not too shabby. You see what that compressor is doing. I'm really liking that. I'm actually going to back off of the threshold. I don't think I have to hit it that hard. I mean, these stems are just that clean. So really, for the sake of showing you guys how to do this, I'm just going to adjust it. See, I'm still at the 2-to-1. I'm 2-to-1 ratio. I'm fine with the 15 milliseconds and the one attack and the 120 millisecond release, but just barely want that to touch. Because I'm still getting up around 3 dB of reduction, which I don't need. Just don't need it. There we go. Just under 2. Let's leave it that. Now let's take a look at this let's take a look at this EQ. See, now this is not a bad setting for this particular bass. It's pushed up around the 1K, kind of your high mids there. I'll take it off so you can hear why. I'm actually going to give it a little more in that spot. I'm digging the way that sounds. So you can really kind of hear the fingers plucking those strings. I'm not so sure about this 300. Let me see. I'm going to have to rewind it there, aren't I? All right. This 308G, let me pull that down and see. I kind of like that, those low mids there. Hey, what I am going to do is I'm going to back off. I'm going to cut some of these low frequencies out here. And listen real careful. I'm going to do it pretty drastic at first. Now you can hear all those low frequencies that are annoying are gone, but we've kind of sucked the life out of the bottom end of this thing. So let's bring this out slowly as soon as I get the bass back. That really is a bad spot. Let me rewind that back there. There you go. So I'm going to grab this now and pull some of those lows back in. It sounded pretty good. So I'm basically cutting everything here around 68Z. Drops off pretty hard. So let's just set it at 60 here and leave it there for now. Because what we're going to want to do is we want to have some good bass response with that kick drum. So we're going to build some of the low end of this song, not only with the bass but the kick drum, but we got to make sure that they're not having any type of weird frequency clashes going on in there. So let's bring those drums back in, and this is really cool. I can just click either on the bus or the VCA and bring them all back in at once. And I'm going to take this song back to the beginning. Let's bring this bass in. You're actually getting a lot of the lows, the bottom end of this song, from that kick drum. Once I start getting other instruments in there, I may cut some of that out and may bring it up with the bass, but let's see. Let me put all this back in, take a listen again. Let me bring my percussion in too. Sound pretty good. All right, let's move to that piano. If you remember right, I didn't really like the way this piano is. Again, I'm kind of wondering why they made it a mono track and not a stereo track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with this to see if I can't spread it out to make it kind of sound more natural. I mean, a piano just sitting right in the middle is kind of weird to me. Before I do that, let me turn the solos off on these so they're all muted and listen just to the piano. Let's take a peek at that. Let me move that up and let's listen to this. Yeah, see, to me, that's just weird. So this preset came with a mixed reverb on it. I am going to remove that. And I'll show you why in just a second. So let's play through, and I'm going to check my compressor and my EQ. Again, I'm going to be real light on the compressor and play around with the EQ till I'm satisfied with it. So let's do that right now. It's not even touching the compressor. Honestly, I don't care. Let me bring this down. We're at 9. Maybe a hair. And for piano, I'm okay with that. You know, these presets, the compressors, you have to dial these in over here, your ratio, your threshold, your knee. I found them to be pretty accurate for the most part as far as your attack and release for the instruments. I mean, the engineers over at Presonus, I mean, they put a lot of thought into these things. So, you know, who are we to judge them, right? Those guys, if they could develop this software, they got to be good, right? So, okay, I'm okay with that compression we got there. Again, I'm only touching it. It's only taking out probably only having 1 dB of reduction. Let's take a listen to this EQ here. Let me bring this up here. You have to be careful when you're cutting the lows on pianos. I mean, you definitely want to have a little bit in there, just enough to take out the annoying frequencies. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that right now because I am going to spread this out with some reverb. Try and give it a little more of a stereo feel to it. I'm just trying to decide whether to use the room reverb of Presonus or if I should go to one of my third parties. So let me see what I'm going to do with that. Let's go ahead and start with, let's try it with the Presonus room reverb. So I'm going to go to my reverb and I'm going to go to room. And this time I took it out of my inserts. I'm going to bring it down here into sends. So let's leave it off. Let's see. There's something else you can do. You can leave them on. You can go up here. This is a bypass. So the reverb's actually on, but it's bypassing it. So let's bypass that. Just something else to learn there. Let's listen to this. And then with the reverb, turn it on. Sounds more like it's at a recital hall. Yeah, I'm hearing too much pre going on. Let me pull some of that out. It's not too bad. Just give it a little bit of more width. I don't like a lot of height. Okay. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to try my third party reverb on here. It's a Vox and Go. It's actually free and it's real nice. It's kind of my go-to reverb. It's called the old school verb. I'm going to turn off this room reverb and I'm going to bring my old school in. Of course, now I got 2 instances here, but I'm only going to run one. Let me turn that off. Again, you can bypass it up here, but I'm going to turn it. It's easier for you to see if I turn it on here and turn it off. So let's listen to that. Okay, let's turn it on. It's not too bad, actually. It sounds a whole lot more natural. I think I'm going to... Another cool thing about this one is it's actually got a 3-band EQ up here where you can EQing the reverb. I love that feature. Everything else is the same. You got your P delay, your space, your time, your width, your dampness. This is how much you push into it. This is how wet or dry you want it. It really is the same, but it's got this. I just love this reverb. So let's listen to that. I think I'm going to push the mids up a little bit on this. Take some of the lows out. I'll leave those highs right where they are. Now let's listen to the difference when I turn it off. It just sounds way more natural. So I'm going to stick with my third party. So I'm just going to right click on this reverb here. That's how you get rid of plugins, by the way. You just right click on them and remove, but it doesn't get rid of the bus here. So now that's just an empty bus with nothing in it. I mean, it has a reverb, but it's not sent to anything. So it's just taking up space and CPU. So let's remove that. And there's my old school reverb. And let's listen to that piano just one more time. It just sounds like piano now. Leave it there. Let's I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this since I have to keep coming over here and do my microphone. But let's get to the point where I'm really going to want to have some more tracks going at the same time here. So let's see here. Let's go back to our piano. Might just go ahead and do this and mute these. Makes it a little easier. So now I can hear everything I've done, including up to the piano, including the piano. Now I'm going to have to set some levels on it. Now I can hear, I could use a little bit more brights in there. Much better, much better. See, sometimes you have to wait till you bring the other instruments in to see what it sounds like. All right, let's get to this electric guitar here. I got to solo my vocal here, mic, and let's get over to that. Where is it? My electric guitar. Solo that. Let's listen to that. Okay, when it's playing rhythm, it's not even hitting the compressor, and I really don't want it to. But when that guitar solo comes in, it's a little hot, so I'm getting about 2 dB of reduction. So let's see what the EQ is on this. Ah, yes, the old mid-range that's there. Let me turn that to third, and let me rewind this back and just listen to this. You know what? For now, I'm going to go in here and turn that reverb off. It's kind of playing havoc right now. All right. I'm okay with this cut here. Maybe bring it a little bit, give it a little bit more richer flavor. But these mids I can't stand. Sounds real boxy. I mean, if you're a guitar player and you know guitar players, I mean, the first thing they do when they go to their amplifier is typically yank down 500, right at 500. So I'm gonna go down here and you can work this down here as well. It's just easier to point, click, and grab, but I'm just gonna set this for right around 500, or I can click it and say 500. How about that? I'm always pulling that out, so let's listen. I like that a whole lot better. Let's see if we bring a little lows in. I also like to push my rock distorted guitars. I like to push them up at the 2K range. What's this sitting at? It's sitting at 3. Let me just drop this down. Let me go to the 2K here. It's a little wider. And let's listen to see what that sounds like. It's a little much. Actually hurts. It hurts my ears a little bit. So let me see. Let me get to my guitar solo. I'm gonna loop that part right there, and let's do a little surgery on that. Actually, that sounds pretty decent there. I've cut the mids, I boosted at 2K, and I also boosted around, where am I at here? I'm right at 5K. That sounds pretty good. Let me play this. I want to take off the loop and listen to the rhythm part. Not too bad. Just bring that reverb back in. Let's bring the rest of the tracks in and see what that sounds like so far. Take it right to the beginning. All right, we got to bring that piano down. I'm digging that. This is getting a little louder now, so I'm going to actually pull my main fader down just a hair. Okay, that's good. Let's take it back. All right, let's take a listen to this acoustic guitar. See what the preset is on that. I can't remember, so let's see what it sounds like. What's this? And so let's listen to this. Okay. Let's take a peek at that compressor. Yeah, it's smashing it down way too much. I'm going to take this back down to 2 to 1, and I'm good with these settings here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hit that a little quicker. No, I'm going to leave that because I like what I hear with the pick across the strings, but I think I'm going to release it a little faster. And then I'm going to try and get it so I have only about 2 dB of reduction. Less, actually. That's not bad. I'm getting there. Excuse me. So you're also going to have that whole, what came first, the chicken or the egg thing. I might as well talk about that now. The compressor first or the EQ first. I typically do the compressor first. On the old analog, I actually didn't. I used to, the old analog compressors, which are, high voltage valve compressors, they can take a beating. So you try to do things to the track to try and keep it from hitting it so hard. Kind of sounds dumb, but you got to save gear. But because we're on digital here and you can beat these compressors up, they don't go bad. I'm going to take advantage of that and put them on first. They do add some color, so you can get, if you don't have a compressor here and you get it EQ'd just the way you like, and you bring that compressor back on after it, and start smashing it down. In this case, in that song, it's not being smashed too much because of, again, the stems are just really good. But there's some, if you get deep into this audio engineering and start doing it for people, you're gonna get some crappy stems. But anyway, you put that compressor on and start smashing it down, well, you're gonna have to put another EQ on the other side of it anyway. Excuse me. Because it's gonna suck the life out of it. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's continue. Go to that EQ. Yep, first thing I'm going to do is cut all these frequencies out. You can actually hear them in there. I mean, just that alone makes your ears feel better. I'm not so sure about this low mid here. Let's see. I think I prefer it not to be there. Acoustic guitar. I think I'm going to leave a little tiny bit of mids in there. Let's see if we can get on this end. Let me rewind that back. So around the 3K, I'm boosting it up. Wow, I'm like 6 dB almost. That doesn't sound too bad. See, if you notice, I literally am rolling the low rumbling, obnoxious low frequencies off a lot of these things. Because if you don't what you're going to find out is they're going to start building up. You know, kick drum, you're going to have a bunch of them. The guitars, you're going to have a bunch. The bass is going to have a bunch. So you got all these low frequency, you know, what do you call them? I'm going to call them these nasty low frequencies. They're just all fighting for space, and it just makes for like one big bunch of mess. It destroys your mix. So we're cleaning all these out, but you know you can get aggressive and cut too much, and then your tune doesn't have any bottom end. But you know, and I may have done that. I don't know. Once we get done with this song, I might go back and pull some of them back in. But for now, let's just keep on rolling. And I'm actually digging the way this acoustic sounds. So let's put it back in the mix and see what it sounds like. Let's take it to the beginning since it starts with that. It sounds good, man. That kick drum and that bass is really building bottom end on this song now. It's got a lot of good bass response going on there. Something I didn't check with this. Don't forget this electric guitar is sharing the same reverb. This acoustic guitar, the electric guitar, and this other acoustic guitar that we're going to get to in a second are all sharing the same reverb. I want to listen to that again by itself. I'm going to use this tool right here to add some or take some out. Something else that's in here, you can't see it. It's really hard to see. I don't know why Presonus wouldn't highlight this thing here, because you can. This is like a little panning down here that you can pan your reverb. I'll show you how it works in just a second. But for now, let me solo this guitar back and double check that reverb. All right. Sounds pretty good. You know, you can see, you can watch, you can boost it way too much or take it out all the way. God, did I just hear him hit some sour notes here? Let's listen back to that. I don't know if that was right or not. Anyway, let's get back to this reverb. It's pretty cool. Now, here's this tool down here I was telling you about. Listen to this. Hear all the reverb to the right or all the way to the left? Kind of cool, if you ever need it. I'm going to leave it sitting in the middle for right now. All right, let's bring this back in. All right, now we're rolling right along. Man, this thing is sounding awesome now. I'm sitting here patting myself on the back. Believe me, the Cambridge Mixing Secrets, they helped out a lot on this. So let's listen to this acoustic here. Let me solo my vocal mic and then solo this acoustic. Let's see what this sounds like. Find another spot here. Playing a lot right here. See. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna scroll it up so I can see here, and I'm gonna drag my loop tool and let it loop over and over while I play with it. Let's start with the compression again. Double click that, open it up. Let's see what's going on here. It's really hitting it a little harder than I want. take this down to 2 to 1. And take that threshold up. I want this thing to breathe. That's good. Sounds good. Take a look at this. All right, see all these unwanted frequencies? Again, boom, cut it. I think that's sounding pretty good, actually. Let's see what this sounds when I pull this off. Let's actually bring this over. Get up around the 5K. I like this cut here. That sounds good, and I'm kind of digging the reverb too. All right, so let's go ahead and bring it in, see what it sounds like all together again. All right, let me turn the loop off and let's see what that lick at the beginning of the song sounds like. That sounds really awesome, but it sounds like my toms still got some low frequencies going on that I am not liking. So let me select that, and let's here's my tom track. I'm gonna go ahead and loop this. And it's hard to just loop it and let it go real fast. You need a little bit before and after to kind of get your bearings, so to speak. So let's listen to that here. Mute it. I'm going to mute it because, you know what, it may be coming from the overheads and not the actual tom mics. So let me mute one at a time and see what it does. Okay, so it's not coming from the overhead. So let's listen to that, and I'm going to do some dialing in on here why everything's playing instead of soloing it, so we can try and get some of that noise out of there. I'll go ahead and start it. Let me see. I may solo it just so you can hear what I'm talking about. It's got a little something there that I don't like. Yeah, that's just needed that one little bit of tweak. I think I was pushing it really a little too hard around the 130H, 130HZ. I think I punched just a little more. And of course, I cut a little bit and lower that big drop off there, but that seemed to have solved the problem. So let's move on down the line here, and I think we're going to get into some vocals. The old vocals, that I'm definitely going to work on soloed. So first, let me see what the lead vocal sounds like with what I got. Start it out to the beginning. Actually, you know what? I don't want to wait that long, so I'm scoot over here to this where the vocals start. and hit play. Let's see what we got going.
I know the seasons about to change. It's changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. You're tearing me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine?
Yeah, my old reverb, I actually already pulled that out. I'm going to my third-party reverb, my old school reverb. But before I do that, I'm going to go on here and look and see what's going on with the compressor.
Where will my heart come back to life?
This is where I am going to use about 4-to-1 ratio. I do like a short, a 6 dB knee there for vocals, like that sharp drop off. Probably going to make this a little bit faster attack, probably somewhere between 15 and 20. And whoo, this preset right here, man, 769.7 milliseconds. That's vocal constipation right there. I don't like it there. So that's going to drop that down. I'm looking at probably around a 60 or 70 millisecond on this one, only because I know this vocal track is super clean. But let's go see if I can start pulling the threshold a little bit down. I do want it to touch. I want to get a little bit of reduction going on, even though we don't need much. So let's take a listen.
I'll come back to life. I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left in me, I'm alright. Get away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. You know I will always have this too. A little piece of you.
Okay, I'm liking that. Let me close this down and let's loop that part there. Let's loop some vocals. You know what? We'll do it where we did it before. Kind of like that verse. And let's get a loop. Missed it. There we go. Get our loop there and set it. And let's actually let me come a little bit out. All right, let's listen to this.
Could we let this slip away? Slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? And where is my shelter in the rain?
Okay, let's pull a little more.
Well, I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that I left
I'm gonna
in me,
hit this hard.
I'm alright. Being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But no, I will always have this too. A little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? It's slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? And where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But no, I will always have this too. A little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? It's slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? And where is my shelter in the rain?
Right.
Well, I'm alright.
That sounds pretty good. Now let's see what it sounds like in the mix.
As I pick up the pieces that I left in me, I'm alright. Get away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. No, I my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left of me. I'm alright.
I'm not quite getting what I want out of this, so I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to put a shelf on here. Click here. I don't want a 6 dB. Let's go to a 12. Good. I'm not digging that, am I? I'm just going to boost all this here. Might not even cut any off the end here. Might have to bring this down a hair now since I got this. You know what, let's just drop these. I mean, I may just shelf this all the way. Let's see what it sounds like.
Get away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. Know I will always have this too. A little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? Slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? And where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. Know I will always have this too. A little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? Slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? Where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright being away from you.
All right, I'm kind of digging that. Let's bring some reverb in. I'm going to go with my old school reverb. And we got that soloed, so let's take a listen.
And I'll be fine, cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? It's slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? Where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. How could we let this slip away? Slipping through my hands. How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Where is the pleasure in the pain? Where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright. Get away from you, and I'll be fine.
Okay. Move that reverb down. I'm kind of digging that reverb. Now, I think if you guys remember, what I did here is when I got the lead vocal done, I just dragged the compression and EQ down. We're going to do the same thing, but what we're going to do is replace it, because like I said before, these backup vocals is the same as the lead vocalist is doing the backups too. So we're going to cheat and use the same compressor. So what I'm going to do is just drag it over here. You know, you can either put it under it or here or over top of it, but when it highlights like that, that's replacing it. Now that compression is the same as the lead vocal now, and the same thing with the EQ. Let's bring it there and drag it on over. So now they're all the same. Get rid of these old reverbs that I wasn't going to use, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to drag my reverb over, and then I'm going to unsolo these. I mean, unmute these, and then I'm going to solo them all. So I'm going to solo mine too, so you don't lose me. And I'm going to see right here, right where the backup vocals are singing, and let's loop that and take a listen.
Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, a beat away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, a beat away from you.
Okay, I like the way they're sounding together. Let's go ahead and highlight them all and create a separate VCA for it. So now those are working. And let's blend all those into the rest of the music.
I'll be fine, cleaning up the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you.
Now I have a little problem here. I'm getting too much. So when the backup vocals are going, I'm hearing way too much reverb. It's just building up because I got quite a bit on the lead vocal. So let me solo these. Let's select these two. Let me solo those, and I got to do my vocal mic. And I'm going to pull some of the reverb out of those. It just sounded too messy. So let's take a listen to those soloed and gradually take the reverb, some of the reverb out by doing it here.
Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, beat away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too.
That's good. So I yanked that out so it's not so many reverb frequencies flying around. All right, let's take a listen to that again.
A little piece of you. Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, beat away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me allay all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry all my tears and help me allay all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, beat away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, put it back in order. No, I will always have this too. I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me.
All right, let's take this back to the beginning. There's a lot going on at the end of this song. I can't quite dial in these vocals, so let's take it back to the beginning. You know what? I thought there was an acoustic there. Solo. Nope. Not. Sorry about that.
As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, put it back in order. But know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. My hands, back in the darkness, blind the day. Shelter in the rain. Well, I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, in order, but know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me allay all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry all my tears and help me all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright. As I pick up the pieces that are left of me, I'm alright. Feel away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, put it back in order. I know I will always have this too.
All right, I'm getting close. Now there's something going on here with these toms that I don't like. I might have to come in and do a little surgery. We could do some automation. I don't, being that this is a beginner's tutorial, or at least the second part of a beginner tutorial, I'm not going to get into automation, but I am going to show you a quick little trick where you can do some surgery. First thing I want to do is grab this bottom of this tom here, and you can drag that down so you can see more of what you're doing. And then I'm going to zoom in here, get in a little tighter so I can really see where those hits are. And I'm going to loop that for a second here. And I'm going to play it over and over and see if you can hear what the problem is. This hit right here, you hear that in your left side. Sounds good. But these down on here, I'm not sure what kind of a drum set he's using. It sounds like it might be a 4-piece, but it sounds like this is a rack tom, and these might be floor toms over here. But I'm having a hard time hearing those. So I'm going to show you a little trick you can do here. I'm going to select the track here. We know we can hear that one here. That's that one that you hear in the left. Listen, let's solo it so you can. I'm going to solo my vocal and go back to my toms here, and let's take a listen to that. See, this hit right here, you can hear a little bit better. So I'm going to do a little surgery here. Take my little knife tool here. I'm going to come into where these hits start, which is right around here. I think that's the first one. This one here might be a little bit of the snare bleeding through, so I'm going to chop that right there. And then I'm going to go through here. I know all these are fills right here, and I'm guessing that's a bleed from overhead, the crash. So I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to go back to my pick tool here. Arrow tool, pick tool. So I want to select this one piece, and this right here, I can raise the volume. Get that on just that piece. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So let's play that over and over until I'm satisfied that I can hear all the drums there. And it didn't take much. I only boosted it 1.5 dB, but you know, to me that just sounds better. So let's go ahead and you hit this button here and take this all back to normal. Puts everything like it is. So yeah, I just boosted that one little piece. We'll go into automation on another video. Believe me, there's so much stuff in Studio One where you know it can make you know, hours, months, years of tutorials. But I tell you what, everybody's done it. There is a ton of them on YouTube. But let's go back. I'm going to start this from the beginning and take a listen and make sure, one last listen to make sure I don't have any levels wrong. If I hear any weird frequencies, anything that just doesn't sound right.
Changing all around. I know the reasons you've arranged. You're taking me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, being away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner.
Dial in this acoustic guitar solo. Keep going over this one spot, but that's cool.
Have this too, a little piece of you. But can we let this slip away, slipping through my hands? How can the darkness blind the day? Bring back the light. Put it back in order, but know I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me allay all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry all my tears and help me on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Hear me calling. I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left in you. I'm for you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning out the corner, put it back in order. You know I will always have this too.
Okay, I think this thing is coming right along. I think I'm going to call this mix complete and move on to a little bit of mastering treatment. So what I like to do is I have my own favorite chain that I like to put in here to kind of glue things together, and then drop an EQ to try and make sure I got all those frequencies taken care of. I should, if I treated these tracks right, then we'll probably be okay. Won't have to do a whole lot of cutting there. But let's go ahead and get started on this. I think I'm going to start with my Hoffa. I like this Hoffa compressor. I got it set. I got a preset here. Let me go ahead and open that up here. There's my stereo master compression, and it's a ratio 4.0 to 1. I got an attack at 22 and a release at 100. This kind of keeps me in check. I want to make sure that all the levels here in the tracks that are going into this main fader are not too hot. So I put this Hoffa on here, and I'll play the track, and I'll see if how hard it's hitting the compressor here. Let me go ahead and start that real quick so I can see where I'm at. Okay, you can see that's hitting, I guess it's probably maybe popping it down to maybe negative 2 dB. I actually think that's too much for this song. All I want to do is just grab any of the peaks that are coming, just kind of gently push them back down to glue this thing together. So what I have to do there, let me close this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight every track. Bear with me. I'm going to hit Control so I can skip over buses and VCAs. I just want the tracks only. So I'm going to highlight these and work my way down. It's a good thing there's not only but 13 of them. You get 100 of them, and that's a pretty big pain in the backside. Okay, keep going down here. Like I say, I don't want to do VCAs, and I do not want to do my buses. And that's all of those. So let me open my Hoffa back up. And you're going to see what I'm going to do here. Since I have them all highlighted, I'm going to grab one fader, and it's going to bring everything down. You're probably thinking, why not just put a VCA fader on the whole thing? Well, when you got other VCA faders on there, it doesn't really work right. So I'm going to do it this way. Let's watch what happens over here on my compressor. I'm going to lower all the tracks until I'm just seeing it touch.
It's changing all around. I know the reasons you arranged. You're tapping me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? Where will my heart come back to life?
And that's all I want to hit it. I mean, it's really just to catch some of the tops of these transients, and it really glues things together. So let me go ahead and close that. I'm really liking that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Pro EQ on. Go up here to, I change this effects over to folders, so I'm going to go into mixing and then grab my Pro EQ, drop it on here, and I'm going to just take a peek and see what this is. This is the EQ of the whole song, every track. Let's take a peek.
I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that are left of me. I'm alright, feel away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. I know I will always have this too, a little piece of you.
think that's all I'm going to do. I just, did a little bit of a simple cut on each end of the highs and the lows. I really didn't need it, but, I'm not going to go put you through listening to the rest of this song since this turned out to be another marathon video. Sorry about that. There's so much things I want to cover, and you just can't get it all in one video. But I gave it a little boost here, right around the 61 HZ mark. But then I just gave it a little, just warmed it up a little bit there. But I still made sure I'm cutting off any frequencies. When I play it through, there might be a track that I didn't get quite right. Didn't hit it perfect, so this will grab anything that's any of those unwanted frequencies. So I'm going to leave that at that. And again, these tracks are so good, these stems are so good that it really probably doesn't need anything else. I might go ahead and put a little tape on here, even though it probably doesn't need it, and I'm kind of breaking my own rules here about over engineering, but I'm going to go ahead and put the Slate virtual tape machine on here anyway. Tape, it has some really natural compression to it, kind of warms things up, a little more glue, and it also gives it a little sparkle. So let me go ahead and bring that over, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start the song and set my ins and outs.
Where is pleasure in pain? Where is my shelter in rain? Well, I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left in me. I'm alright, feet away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner, put it back in order, but no, I will always have this too. A little piece of you. Help me dry on my tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry on my tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left in me. I feel away from you, and I'll be fine. Cleaning up the corner.
I tell you, that sounded really good. So we glued it with a little bit of compression. I mean, just touched it. I took my EQ and I just made sure I rolled off the ends a little bit on the highs and lows. Maybe gave it a little boost around 60 HZ. Just give it a touch of warmth without making it too bass heavy, because I think we got enough bottom end on this song going on now. So I think we're going to get down to our post limiter. This also is going to be a third party that I use. It's an LVC limited Z, and it's free. This is another free one that I just happen to love. So we're going to drop this on post. Okay, got that. I'm going to go ahead and set this as, I want this to have a little punch to it. This limiter does give you a little color, and I'm going to be using one of the presets. Change this up to that. And I am going to start pushing my fader up, my main fader up, and until it's just basically touching this. If I did this right, I shouldn't get more than maybe half a dB of reduction, except for with maybe a snare hit or a kick drum that might pump it down to a negative 1.5, but we'll check that out, because I don't want to smash it down. I don't want to lose any of the dynamic range. So I'll show you what that is in just a second. I went over it a little bit in the other video, but I'm looking for an RMS probably somewhere around 10, maybe -9, without hitting the peaks, without hitting the limiter way too hard. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to rewind that back a little bit, and let's start it up and start pushing my fader into this limiter.
I'll be fine, cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me? My tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left. I'm alright.
Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let me close this limiter up, and I am going to bring in, let me go analysis. I'm going to bring in a level meter, so you can clearly see what my RMS is and what we're peaking out at, so you can see what the dynamic range is that I was talking about. Grab this, bring it right after my limiter. So this isn't doing anything, it's just showing me where we are. So let me start this back up.
I'll be fine, cleaning up the corner, put it back in order. But no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry all my tears and help me lay on my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright as I pick up the pieces that I left. I'm alright, feel away from you, and I'll be fine.
All right, you can see where my RMS, that's the white line here. Of course, it's bouncing around with my vocals, but it's right in between 12 and 9, probably hovering somewhere around 10, 10.5. It's really exactly where you want it to be, because this is where your volume's going to be for burning it to CDs and things like that. So and then 0 is up here. So I'm having a dynamic range of about really 9, 10 dBs, which is really good. I mean, if I was to push this harder into the limiter, it would bring my RMS up into 6 or even peaking out close to 3. And then you only got to get that 3 dB of dynamic range, and you start to crush the song down, and you lose all the dynamics, and that's where the loudness war comes in. Everybody thought it was best to cram it as hard as you can into the limiter and bring the RMS up as close to 0 as possible, but that was just destroying your mix. Everything that you did down here was just, you might as well throw it away. It sounds terrible. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this thing, start to finish. Let's see how. Let me rewind it back, and let's give it a play.
Changing all around. I know the reasons you arranged. You're tapping me down. Where is the peacefulness of mine? this too. A little piece of you. My hands, back in the darkness, blind the day. Bring back the light, where is pleasure in the pain? Where is my shelter in the rain? Well, I'm alright, as I pick up the pieces that I left in me. I'm alright, being away from you, and I'll be fine, cleaning up the corner, in order, but no, I will always have this too, a little piece of you. Help me dry all my tears and help me lay all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? Help me dry all my tears and help me all my fears and help me, I think I am falling. Does anybody hear me calling? I'm alright, as I pick up the pieces that I left in me. I'm alright, feel away from you, and I'll be fine, cleaning out the corner, put it back in order. No, I will always have this too.
Okay, I think that sounded pretty good. Well, I want to thank you guys for sticking around for another marathon video. I didn't think it was going to go that long, but there was so much to cover, and there's so much more that we could have covered. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. Again, this is on YouTube, so down below I'm going to put some links, how to reach me. I'm also going to put the Facebook groups on there, all our social media groups. So if you ever need any help, there's somebody there 24/7. You'll get you ask a question, you'll get an answer in probably less than a minute. It's a great community. Let's see what else I'm going to do. I'm going to have the link to the song, to the mix where we started, the video prior to this, which was, kind of a little series here of, first we mixed it with presets, and then this video we came in and we dialed everything in and did some mastering, even showed you a little bit about third-party plugs and even a bus. And I think that's just about it. Thanks again for stopping by. I guess I'll see you at the next video. Thanks, and take care.